So here's what it all comes down to. Everything that we've been talking about today has been building to this, that it's our third reality of our freedom in Christ, and it's that freedom in Christ is nothing more than the freedom to love. It's not about just getting to do whatever we want, but our freedom in Christ is simply an opportunity for us to love the world, for us to love another person. And so Paul finishes his explanation about freedom in Christ this way. He says, "You, my brothers and sisters, were not called to be free, but you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge in the flesh." The flesh is just another way of saying just getting to do whatever you want. You're not called to indulge in that part of you. The flesh is the part of you that's been corrupted by sin, that makes you want to do things that ultimately aren't good for you. You're not called to use your freedom in Christ this way. But here's how you're called to use your freedom. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. For the entire law, all of those rules and regulations that have separated people from God for so long, all of those rules and regulations are fulfilled in this command: love your neighbor as yourself. It all comes down to having freedom in Christ, being all about freedom to love. And Paul is showing us how to get the full extent out of our freedom, to have a type of freedom that would make Aretha Franklin shout freedom, right? Freedom in Christ is nothing more than the opportunity for freedom and love. And when we do this, we get the opportunity to let our freedom ring with how we love. Let our freedom ring by how we care and how we love the homeless. Like Cody Huff, that incredible story that we heard last week, breaking the chains of addiction and bondage. It's letting freedom love the lost, people who feel they're unworthy and never acceptable in God's eyes and never allowed to have his love. It's letting freedom love the widows and orphans who have nobody to take care of them and nobody to provide the resources that they need. It's letting freedom love the most remote parts of the world in the mission field. It's letting freedom love as we disciple the next generation of Christ followers who are to come after us. It's letting freedom love as we serve in whatever way God has called each and every one of us to serve in this world. And so to close, July 4th, 1776 was our birthday of independence here in this country. And it was a great day of independence, but I have an Independence Day that I believe is much more important. For me, that day was April 7th, 1996. And on that day, I'm sure many people wrote in their diaries, nothing of much importance happened today. But that day was important to me because that was the day that I gave my life to Jesus and experienced the freedom in Christ from my sin and the freedom from being able to love people in however God's called me to love. And from that day forward, it's been my goal, my mission in life to use my freedom to show people that on that day I experienced the greatest independence that has ever been known to the world. And I do that through showing people how to love. What are you going to do with your freedom?